Welcome back, you Degenerates, the number one fantasy football podcast in the world. I'm your host, Mike, with my bestest of friends, Willie Wilson. How you doing, Willie?
I'm good, Mikey. How you doing?
Joe Green?
Doing swell.
Oh,
Very swell.
Is that a fat joke?
No, it's just been my word every week since you've been using the dear old friend take for the
I didn't say
this
that
season.
this time.
Yeah,
no,
that's fair.
He said bestest.
Bestest of friends.
Yeah. Mike, I will say you look a little plump today. It might just be because you're wearing stripes, but you look a little plump.
It's apple picking season, so
Nah,
I'm on
I
a
went
diet.
apple picking. I went apple picking
You
this
had
weekend.
to. It's wife
Okay.
duties.
Yes, I did.
Wife duties, white people duties. Come on.
Wow.
Facts.
We're starting off week 4. Tons of injuries going into this week. But let's start it off. We have a new game we're going to start playing. We're calling it Cut or Keep right now. Might be changing it. But we have some key names that we'll decide whether we need to keep it or cut it. So, Billy, your dream, let's kick this off. Starting off, we have Darnell Mooney. Are we keeping him or are we cutting him?
I own Darnell Mooney in multiple leagues because I tried to steal him from Mike, and so far it's been
He's a
a
my
damn
guy.
shame. Yeah.
The my guy.
Yeah. Mike usually hits on his my guys, and this guy striking out left and right. I'm giving him till week 4 this week against the Giants. If he doesn't produce here, he's dead to me.
Dead.
Joe Green.
Yeah, if there's something better, he's gone. To me, I just don't think you're going to see their offense evolve much more this season. I think the better question is going to end up being who's the quarterback of the Bears next year, because it's been really bad for Justin Fields. And I was someone who's really high on him coming out of college, but he looks like a disaster when it comes to passing the football. So if there's something better, I'll cut him. But if not, I'll hold on for another week and hope I could sell him off of a big game.
Mike, what do you think?
I'm cutting him. I think if you put Mooney on a team with a number 1 wide receiver, I think that he can excel. But Robinson is gone, and now there's like nobody there to cover anybody else but him. So there's no point in keeping him. Doesn't matter if he's going against the Giants.
It's more than just Robinson being gone. Like
I mean, Fields is being bad. There's nobody there to protect. Like Dante Pettis is your wide receiver too. Like, why are we even covering anybody but Mooney? So
I really wish I had looked at his splits last year, Mooney's, with Andy Dalton versus Justin Fields. That was something I didn't look at enough because, obviously Mooney had 1,000 yards last year. I'd love to see how many of those came from Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
Next up.
No, go ahead. I'm done.
No ums. The next up is Darnell Mooney.
We just did Darnell Mooney.
I mean,
Real
sorry,
good,
Elijah Moore.
Real good.
They both start with an M. You guys supposed to separate it like that.
Let's kick it off, Mike. Let's kick it off.
Elijah Moore, wide receiver for the Jets.
Mike, you start.
I'm keeping him. I'm not dropping him until I get to see what Wilson plays with them, because the whole playbook is going to change up. He's more athletic, more of a different change of arm paths. I think Wilson is better than Flacco, even though Flacco leads the league in pass attempts. Elijah Moore, keep him.
I feel the same, although I am worried. The schedule doesn't really get any easier for the Jets. They have Pittsburgh, is somewhat easy, but then they have Miami, Green Bay, Denver, New England, Buffalo, New England, Chicago. It's not great. He's getting the targets. He's just not catching the football. He had 10 targets last year. He's always last week. I'm sorry, but he's always on the field. I'm keeping him, but I'm worried.
Mm-hmm. You agree?
Yeah, I'm keeping him. I'll be worried if we get 2 games into Zach Wilson and Elijah is still not producing. But like Billy said, the targets are there: 10, 5, and 7 to start the year. So he's got 22 total. But let's see what happens when Zach Wilson comes back before we jump off the bandwagon.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, a shocking name, Jerry Jeudy. Joe Green kicked us off first.
No, I'm not dropping Jerry Jeudy. I think He had a big week 1. Obviously, their offense has been an absolute disaster. With Russ, I think Geno Smith actually has thrown more touchdowns than Russell Wilson has. Even Eli Manning said last night they should have gave that $250 million to the punter instead of Russell Wilson. So, I mean, yeah, it's been off to a rocky start, but I mean, Judy had a big week 1 with 100 yards and a touchdown. This past week came back from the injury, didn't produce much, but I wouldn't give up, especially someone you drafted probably in the 5th, 6th round. A little too early.
I will say that part of that 102 yards was like one catch for like 65 that he did basically all himself. But I mean, we kind of called it saying that Sutton was going to be the guy, and he has been. Yeah, that he was injured. I'm worried if I'm Jerry Jeudy owner. If he keeps producing shit games, he doesn't look like he's himself for sure. So I'm a little worried, and that offense stinks. So I'm keeping him for now, but I'm looking to trade him if he has a good game. Get him off my team as fast as possible.
Talking about good games, if he doesn't have a good game against Las Vegas Raiders going against this week, this would be the chance to sell high. This is also the chance to cut him, depending on if he does nothing. So it's a little bit of a risk cutting Judy. I mean, he's going to have those games where he's going to have huge games like a couple weeks ago, but let Russ cook is just not it. So
yeah.
Next up, the legend himself, Tom Brady.
It's tough. It had 0 wide receivers last week.
0.
I think if the schedule kind of eases up for him, he's got Kansas City and he's got Atlanta, so Baltimore a little bit down the line. But it's looking like he's just a streaming quarterback. That's what it's looking like right now. I don't really like drafting Tom Brady. He's never been on my team. So for better or for worse, obviously last year he produced real well. This year, we weren't as high on him as we were last year. I'm dropping Tom Brady. I'll take the upside with somebody like Mariota, get me a rushing touchdown, get me rushing yards.
Mariota, baby.
Even Trevor Lawrence looks good, as much as it pains me to say. So,
Joe Green.
Yeah, I don't disagree at all. I wish I had a hot take to say I did, but as someone who owns Tom Brady in 2 leagues, also I want to say I haven't drafted Tom Brady in nearly 10 years in a fantasy league. This year, of course, I draft him and the team falls apart. I mean, there's just so many injuries. Obviously, Godwin's out. Mike Evans punched someone. He's suspended. Antonio Brown's AWOL. They signed Julio. Julio breaks his back 1 game into the season. Or no, he has a PCL sprain, whatever it was. It's just like it's not looking any better for him. The offensive line gets banged up. Yeah, I played him. I played Mariota over Brady this past week. So yeah, until the guys come back, if you can afford to hold them till all the receivers come back, offensive line gets a little bit healthier, sure, but you're probably not playing them for a few weeks.
I agree.
I'm cutting them. I said last week in a waiver wire video, I'd much rather have Mariota going forth. I can't agree with that offensive line. It's just god awful. And the line is not going to get better. If anything, it can just continue. It can get worse with another injury. The wide receivers, it doesn't matter who his wide receivers are. He didn't have any wide receivers as when he was a Patriot, so I don't really care. I mean, it does mean something when you have Mike Evans sitting there in pajamas because he punches someone. But
does it matter? Make a difference that he's almost 50 now? That wide receivers do make a difference? I think it does to an extent.
It does help him, but the offensive line means more to me than the wide receiver core.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't look as accurate as he once did. That's my worry.
And plus, with all the outside noise from his wife and everybody else in the culture of what's happening, they're living in separate homes and all that. It all means something.
Let's be clear. He's only playing right now to spite Adam Schefter. That's it. There's no other reason why he's playing football right now.
I don't doubt it. Next up, we have Rashad Penny, the penny saver. I'll kick it off. I'm cutting him. I'm a current owner of him. They're featuring way too many backs back there. They have 4 running backs that they have some carries in some way or not. Penny doesn't look explosive. They have a rookie. Eventually, it's going to go to a rookie. The only thing that stops a rookie from being 100% is the fact that he can't pass protect. And they play from down. They play down most of the time. Seahawks. They're going to be a bad offensive team. So I'm cutting them.
I'm cutting him as well. I thought he'd see more targets, and he's just not. He's never really gonna rush super efficiently, especially behind that O line. Listen, they're scoring more points than the Broncos are, so I think they're a better offensive team than the Broncos are currently. But hasn't been on the field more than 70% of the time yet this season. Hasn't had more than 14 carries. I'm cutting him. No touchdowns. I'm cutting him.
This was my problem with him all offseason when we talked about Rashad Penny. He's a good running back on a bad team. And he's a running back who has no receiving upside. This was the same problem with him last year. I owned him at the end of the year. He brought 0 to the game, to the receiving game. And so you're relying on rushing yards and touchdowns with him. He's not getting either of those really because he doesn't get the volume. He's a good player. He's still averaging 4.4 yards a carry somehow behind a terrible offensive line and a bad offense. But yeah, he's definitely droppable because there's no real upside for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, Joe Green's favorite rookie wide receiver coming out of the draft, Treylon Burks. Kick us off, Billy.
I want to cut him. Thankfully, I don't own him to have to make this decision. The only thing that's kind of holding me back is he was on the field more times than he was the whole season so far. He took 69% of snaps, but he only got 2 targets. Don't love that. So he's borderline. If he does the same thing this week, I'm cutting him. So I'm giving him 1 more week against the Colts. Otherwise, he's gone.
No. I'm not giving up on them.
You're not giving
You
up.
can't. You're not allowed to.
I would say, yeah, this past week was very disappointing because for 2 reasons. One, the targets, but he was an inch away from a touchdown. That was so frustrating. Literally was tackled at the 1 inch yard line. And then he dropped, which would have been a game-winning catch. That wouldn't even give him the Raiders a chance to get the ball back. That was really frustrating. And that would have been a huge, 20, 30-yard game. So it wasn't encouraging, but like you said, he's seeing more snaps. He's getting more involved in the offense. I think they made a very strong effort to get Robert Woods involved last week, but I'm not dropping him. I'd at least give it 8 weeks before I gave up on him.
8 weeks.
Now, when we're talking about
8
Burks,
weeks.
we're simply talking about what ifs. What if this happened? What if the Giants didn't tackle him pass interference? What if this guy got past the line and got it into the touchdown? It's about a what ifs. All right, you had the best opportunity you had last week with how Henry ran. He finally had a breakout game. And you know what? If Henry continues to run like that and he's not showing, then that's bad because the play action should be all him. It should be all play action going to him. I'll give it 1 more week.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 more weeks because he is a rookie. But if Henry is going off, like we're expecting him to start picking up, if he goes off and he's not showing off, I'm cutting him.
Yeah, look at his schedule after week 10. So you're not even gonna want him on your team after week 10. Denver, Green Bay, Cincy, Philly, and then it gets a little bit easier with Jacksonville, but then it goes back. The Chargers, he's got Dallas. He's not gonna produce, man. And maybe it's just because I kind of talked you into putting a anytime touchdown bet on him this weekend. But I'm all off. There's 0% chance I'm owning him. 0.
We'll see. I'm not giving up. The matchups don't matter to me. They really don't.
Unless you're playing. Matters.
Oh, okay.
No, matchup. When it comes to wide receivers, look, everyone's talking about Stephon Diggs week 1 going against Jalen Ramsey. Stephon Diggs went
Yeah,
nuts.
but we're talking we're talking about Diggs and Allen, not Tannehill and Burks.
Yes, I know, not Tannehill and Burks, but I'm saying like wide receiver matchups. Unless you're playing a corner who's following that wide receiver, and to be honest, Treylon Burks hasn't earned the respect of a corner like Jalen Ramsey or I don't even know. You could name Patrick Surtain, whoever, to follow him all over the field. I'm not worried about that until he starts warring that country. Same thing with Jamar Chase last year. He didn't get that respect till 8 weeks into the season. I don't think anyone's going to give him Treylon Burks that respect 4 weeks into this season.
At some point, it does matter who's on the defense because
The overall defense.
Me and Mike both been fucked by Justin Jefferson in fantasy in the past 2 weeks, just giving us 2 losses. Hasn't been great, and that's because he had a tough matchup.
Darius Slay
and that rookie just put clamps on him this week.
Chef Okuda
put
clamps on him this week.
But he almost made this list. He almost made this list.
He's not getting the respect of Justin Jefferson. That's my point. Until he garners that respect, defenses aren't gonna game plan for him. That's why I'm not worried about the matchups until he earns it.
I don't have time to wait to see if a player's going to earn it by week 8 because then I'm out of the playoffs hoping that this guy's going to predict.
Listen, no one had time for Amon-Ra St. Brown last year. Or what happened after week 12 with him? He was the number one.
You picked him up on waivers.
Receiver.
Yeah, but he also had a lot of luck. You had no Hawkinson. You had no other players other than him. You guys actually signed Reynolds because you had no wide receivers, and he ended up being very good for them. He is a very good wide receiver, but he fell upon a lot of good luck. He should have been good early on in the year, and it's like that's a lot of steps took for him to show what he is.
Just saying, I wouldn't give up.
Go ahead. Listen to the guy who's 0-3.
I'm 3-0. What are you talking about? I'm 0-3 in the league with Tom Brady.
That's one of the reasons why he can wait till week 10 because he is 3-0.
Yeah.
All right, let's kick off our week.
Go to the matchups.
Go to the matchups. First game is in London. I lied. Thursday night game.
Not. You were.
I lied.
Next up, Darnell Mooney.
Dolphins vs Bengals. We have the Bengals whiteout jerseys. They're looking fire.
Bengals by 1,000,000. Lock it in.
Tua with his concussion / back injury is going to be showing up, hopefully.
No, I think he might miss. I think they might hold him out.
You think so?
Didn't practice today. He didn't practice.
Yeah, coming off a short week, it's tough.
I think if he doesn't practice tomorrow, at least doing walkthroughs and stuff, like he's not playing.
Yeah.
Who's the
NFL's
backup there?
going to investigate that.
Teddy Covers. Teddy Covers is the backup there. Teddy 2 gloves.
All right, everybody play Edmonds because they're going to be running the ball a lot.
Yeah, Dolphins didn't look great last week offensively. Yeah, they played the Bills, but I know according to Joe Green, defenses don't matter. But
to be fair, the Bills' entire secondary was out too, and they still didn't look good.
Yeah, I mean the Bills have a great culture. We'll say they have a great culture up there. Winning football. That they lost, but they have winning football in the mind. Dolphins only put up 186 passing yards, only 42 rushing yards. Somehow the Dolphins won that game. I don't know how. It was ridiculous. I don't think that they're going to be able to bounce back. I think the Bengals are starting to put it together. I'd keep an eye out on T. Higgins. So, But besides that, T. Higgins is full go. They blow out the Dolphins.
Higgins has been banged up all year round. It's kind of like upsetting seeing that like it's constantly different injuries. That's happening. And then like the Bengals need this win. Like if they go down to the Dolphins, they're 1-3. So not looking good. This is a must win for them. So anything about Hill or Waddle? We're doing good. Waddle's on the injury report.
Yeah, what's wrong with Waddle?
Yeah,
I think it's his ankle. He's always he just doesn't want to practice. Shows up on Sundays. That's all. Well, this is gonna be a Thursday, so
groin injury.
It's a groin. Yeah. We'll know more. He didn't practice today. We'll know more tomorrow. Actually, we probably won't Wednesday, we'll know really the most.
He runs too fast.
I'm not truly worried about Jalen Waddle, even if Tua is not going to be there. I think he's more the possession guy anyway. So I think it doesn't hurt him if Tua misses time.
Yeah, Teddy doesn't throw further than 10 yards anyway.
Yep.
That's it, folks. We're gonna kick us off on finally the London game, 9:30 a.m. Eastern.
So
for us.
early.
This is gonna be one of the ugliest games, I believe. We have the Saints, who have a ton of injuries. We have Michael Thomas with the foot injury, Dalvin Cook with a broken shoulder. It's not really broken, but you know what I mean. Shoulder injury again. We have Jarvis Landry with an ankle injury. It's not looking good for both offenses.
Yeah.
And not to mention that, we have Jefferson going against Lattimore. It could be ugly. I might be dropping Jefferson, you know what I'm saying?
Are we dropping Justin
We're
Jefferson?
dropping Jefferson if he has another 4-point game and loses me a game.
Oh, man. I don't think Dalvin Cook's going to play.
He's not playing.
Day-to-day, I don't think he's going to play.
He's not playing.
Yeah.
You want to know why? His injury is like very high to come back.
Yeah.
So, like if he hurts it worse, like the greater chances that it's going to come back next week.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same shoulder he dislocated last year. It's not looking good. I think they know that Alexander Madison can fill his shoes, so I think they just sit him. So the Saints have been bad against the run, though. They've been bad against the run. Two games with over 100 yards by the running backs. Not been great. Usually they're historically really well. They play really well against the run, so it's been a little bit of surprise.
They had that streak where they hadn't allowed a 100-yard rusher for the longest time. I don't think they still have that anymore. I think they got ruined last year, but
when the offense doesn't stay on the field long enough, the defense is getting tired. You don't want to go against, a high-power running back when you've been on the field majority of the game because the Saints and Winston can't stay on the offensive position.
Yeah. Telling you, it's Alexander Madison season, baby. Like I was saying before the season started, Dalvin Cook, unfortunately, is going to get hurt, and Alexander Madison's going to step in there and have a career year to get his payday.
Yep.
They were talking about trading him in the preseason.
Yeah, they tried to. And then they probably thought they said they didn't get any offers they like. I think it was just they kind of knew Dalvin Cook was just going to be banged up all season long again.
Just quickly note, shout out to Billy and saying Olave is the best wide receiver to come out of the draft this year.
Thank you. It was quite simple. He was easily the best, most athletic wide receiver, and I want Joe Green to apologize saying Garrett Wilson's better because he's not.
I mean,
he's not. No, he's not.
I'm not saying I'm whatever about that. We could pass that, but Olave, Garrett, and Treylon Burks are my three favorites. So I mean, I'm not going to be upset about that.
You're one of three.
Of one of three? What do you mean?
Treylon Burks is garbage. Garrett Wilson's hurt. He's going to be missing time.
We don't know that. He's day to day. And Garrett Wilson had one amazing game. Chris Olave's been great. Chris Olave is someone I said last week that you should really be prioritizing trading for because targets are going to come.
But I had two rookie wide receivers. One was Olave, the other one was Drake London, and they're both playing well because, I'm just smarter than you at the end of the day.
Oh, yes. You picked the number one wide receiver in the draft to be the best. No. Oh, boy.
You said he sucked.
You said he was garbage. You said he was
dog shit.
Yeah. I said I didn't like his situation. He's Mariota from football. Like
Mariota's a top 10 fantasy QB right now.
And I will say I thought Pickens.
Think so.
I also thought Pickens was going to be real well, and he completely dropped the touchdown. We'll talk about it when we get to him. Just because we're on the topic of rookie wide receivers.
I also do not. I don't think that's a correct stat, Mike. I don't believe he's a top 10 wide.
He was 11 last time. He was 11 when I did the waiver wire video.
Who?
Mariota.
Marcus Mariota.
For QBs for the whole season?
I think he's 12. He's 13.
He'll be top 10. Don't worry. Next up, we have the Bills versus the Ravens. Bills let one go last week. Diggs had a bunch of what do they call it? keep going out of the game. No, he didn't have drops. He kept pulling out of the game because he had cramps.
Oh,
And then
he was
Miami
dehydrated.
Heat. Yeah.
He's dehydrated. He's been doing that a lot this year, though. He's coming. I don't understand this. He's coming out of games like he's only playing 70% of snaps. It's very weird, but I guess they're just kind of monitoring him. Like they're what's it called? I lost the word.
Yeah, I mean, no, you're right. He's the highest snap percentage was this week, actually, 70%, which is crazy because he's still the wide receiver 1. So not even on the field 100% of the time. But he's still the wide receiver 1.
I was saying that stat. It's probably changed now, but he only plays 70% of the snaps, and when he's on the field, like if you do the target share when he's on the field, it's like 62% of the targets he's seeing when he's on the field. It's ridiculous.
He's the man.
I mean, I think last year kind of lowered that stat because they threw the ball 63 times.
Yeah, right,
it's insane that the Bills lost. The most high-powered offense in the league lost, and they threw the ball 63 times. They ran 90 plays and they lost. It's insane to me. I think they bounced back in a big way, though, against this Ravens secondary who doesn't know how to cover anybody.
Yeah.
What about your guy?
What guy?
Gabe?
Gabe Davis.
Guaranteed touchdown this week.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Here.
Lock
it in.
He let me down last week.
I mean, listen, I'm allowed to have one bad day with my guy. You know?
I mean, it's my guy too because he's on my team.
He's coming off an injury. You know, he's working his way back in. This week he's going to ball out. The whole offense is going to ball out. Were you guys surprised, though, to see Devin Singletary lead the team in receptions and receiving yards?
Absolutely.
It's just something you don't see every day.
Weird. I want to say, I was reading an article earlier about how high volume passing offenses may have met its match. And that teams are running more cover 2, more cover 4, too high than ever before. And I don't know. It could become a problem for the Bills down the line. Like in terms of winning a Super Bowl, fantasy-wise, I don't know that it's going to have much relevance.
I read that article too, but when it comes down to it, like, why are running backs at the all-time low right now?
Well, I think you're going to see a switch eventually here. I think eventually you're going to have to see offenses adjust. But that's football, right? You're always adjusting.
Know what I'm saying? But like, why are teams not focusing on the run when there's so many good opportunities based off of what the defense is showing you?
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to run it.
There's no Eli Manning, Peyton Manning no more doing the check plays back to run. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, I think just those teams get bored. They like the exciting, explosive plays.
Yeah. No, nobody wants to run the ball 4 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards. Nobody wants that.
Right.
That's what they were talking about the Manning class last week. Like, Peyton Manning was making fun of Eli. He's like, yeah, go ahead. Because that's what everybody wants to see. A run for 4 yards. That's what everybody wants to see.
I love it. Do it 20 times.
Real quick, shout out to Lamar Jackson. MVP. Currently 4th in all the NFL in rushing yards, 1st in passing yards. Do you think he's going to win MVP again?
Only him and Hurts. Only him, Allen, and Hurts, I think, have the only shots to do it.
You think he puts up 40 points this week against the Bills?
Nope.
Me either. I think it comes back down to earth today, this weekend.
What'd you make of J.K. Dobbins?
Indifferent, man.
I like that I just saw him on the field.
Yeah, it's good to see him on the field, but we really didn't see all that much. So
I want to see what he does. Like, I want to see the progression of how many shares, how many run attempts, and how many times he's on the field. And then if it increases, I would, maybe in one more game, I would trade low for him when people think that he's not really doing that much, but you see the production increasing even though you don't see the value. I would trade. That's a trade low. That's go buy him.
Buy low. Yeah, I agree. I would 100% buy low on him because he can, and just hope that his volume increases as the season goes on. But
by like 5 games of him playing, I think he'll be back to like close to like maybe like 85%.
Yeah, it just comes down to volume. I think you can't play him until proven otherwise.
Yeah. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Definitely not against the Bills. Next up, we're going to go against Jags and Eagles. two of the most improved teams. Christian Kirk, top 10 wide receiver right now.
Number 6.
Well, I knew it was top 10. I didn't want to go, top 8.
He's
It's not all
top
there.
6 and he's not 7. It's a mind-bending stat for you, boys.
Jalen Hurts going to finish as the top running back QB in the league. Don't worry about it. It's coming.
Yeah. Are you surprised to see the Eagles throwing the ball 30 times every game? Even when they're up, they're just still throwing the ball around.
Stunned.
So much for
I didn't believe this.
Yeah, so much for pass first, run first.
They really don't
when
have
you have that and when you have AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, even Quez Watkins.
Oh God.
I mean, you gotta throw it 4 times, 30 plus times a game.
Yeah.
They're just being efficient. They're not their run to pass ratio is good. And
yeah,
why not ball on people?
I was looking at that. It's almost 50% all the way through for all 3 games. Like 1 or 2 more rushing in week 1, 1 or 2 more passing in week 2, and then went back to 1 or 2 more rushing in week 3. So.
And even when they're not running as much, they're being way more efficient at it. Hurts is getting 6 to 10 yards each time he runs. It's keeping teams honest. They have to always have a QB spy on him. It's easy to pass on all the other teams.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see what he does against this Jaguars team.
I don't think they're going to struggle to move the ball in their defense, personally. But
I don't think so either. I think it's going to be a shootout, though. I think the Jags came out hot. I don't know how
They've been hot.
I know, but we've been all praising the Eagles defense, and I think the change of pace backs, Christian Kirk getting open, listen, I was wrong. I could have been wrong about Trevor Lawrence. I'm not going all the way there yet. I told you that last week. I'm still not going all the way there. But he's being efficient, so
James Robinson never
game.
got it. What are you saying, Joe?
It's amazing what happens when you have an actual football coach and not a guy who's sleeping around with freaking 12-year-olds every week.
Wow.
Coaching your quarterback. Or whatever he was rumored to be doing.
I think he was having consensual sex with adult women, but that's just what I heard. Not underage children.
All right, whatever. College women. But anyways, Trevor, fantasy relevant? You thinking
I'd take him
spot
over
starts?
I'd take him over to Tom Brady right now.
Yeah.
The only reason I needed a quarterback in one league after Trey Lance went down, and I chose Mariota simply because of the rushing yards. But if there's a matchup I like better, I have no problem playing Trevor Lawrence. As long as he keeps playing like this, keeps playing well, give me 17, 18 points, I'm cool with it every week.
He runs the ball not a lot, but if he can get 30 yards per game, then you're golden.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's getting 30 rushing yards a game, man. He gets 10 at the moment.
Yeah, he has 4, 11, and 7.
I thought this one he had a 30-yard game.
Last year he was running for his life.
Yeah.
this year, not so much.
Yeah, he only has 1 interception on the year. He's looking good.
Not a high ceiling, though. That's the only problem. Not a high ceiling.
Not a high ceiling until they get ETN the ball.
You wish. James Robinson acting like he never got injured.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate James Robinson at all. I was a James Robinson guy when Mike brought him to my attention. 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Listen, I bought in, but I was weary of the knee injury. But listen, ETN as a running back 3 on a team, I don't truly hate it. 8.5, 8.3, 10.5. Like, if you're going hero running back, you're getting 10 points from the running back position. You say you punted the position. You're not getting 2s. You're still getting passing work. And I think it just, like I said last week, I think it's going to continue to grow.
Well, you saw at the end of the game when they were up so much that he finally actually did something in the run game. Like they
Yeah.
need to hand the ball off more to him.
I do agree there. And one thing I saw a couple times in that game was both him and Robinson were both in the red zone. They had like a couple plays where they had ETN as the quarter, not the quarter, but you know what I mean, kind of like the fullback position, and then Robinson behind. He kind of went either way. He could have run it's like a triple option. He's on the. It's not like he's not on the field. They're in the red zone, which I do like. 'Cause he'll eventually score a touchdown, and then I get to say, "Yeah, I told you so." So
I mean,
That's
panic meter on ETN.
zero.
Not worried.
No,
I'm not
just don't
worried
panic
because he's
on
still
the
producing.
field. Yeah, he's on the field, and you see the shares. He's there. So
Yeah.
it's just about game planning for him. And you never know when Robinson could get hurt. I mean, happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really factoring in Robinson getting hurt. It's just more when the weather starts getting colder, I think they're going to rely more on both running backs. So,
All right, next up, Jets vs Steelers. Garrett Wilson hurt with his ribs last week. He came in and out of the game, and possibly Zach Wilson coming back this week.
Saleh said today he's expected to be active. I don't know if that means play. But
well, active and playing is two different things.
listen, the Jets are hopeful that he'll be back. They're real hopeful. I will say the Jets did lose another offensive lineman, George Font. He's out. I think he's out for the year. I know he's on IR, but I'm pretty sure he's out for the year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that would just destroy any hope that Jets fans had of doing anything this year. Do you have any takes on the Jets running back situation, or are we just gonna kind of keep monitoring it?
They're both pretty much 50-50. It's whoever gets the hot hand and whoever makes the big play. That's basically it. They're it's gonna be shocking, but now I feel like they're gonna be forced to run the ball more because there's no way to pass protect for this team. Noah Font wasn't. What do you mean?
Oh, it's the issues that they're still going to be in a negative game script in almost every one
situation.
of their games. Yeah, and they don't have a good offensive line. Yeah, they're talented running back. Same thing with Najee Harris last year, right? Najee, super talented player, terrible offensive line. Breece Hall, same situation, and he's not even seen the receiving work. That's the issue.
That's not really true.
It's not.
Breece Hall had
still
11 targets last week.
But he's not. All right, he had 6 for 53. But
two games with 6 receptions.
No one's seen the carries. Nobody. Like Carter's having 6 to 10, and so is maybe Hall.
Yep.
I mean, it's not.
They can't run the ball a lot, but you give me 6 receptions from a running back, I'm happy.
He's the same. It's basically like ETN. Like you're fine. Put him out there if you need to and run with it.
Yeah. Mike Tomlin.
We'll see when Wilson comes back. What if they keep dumping it down like Joe Flacco has?
Yeah. Moving on to the Steelers. Mike Tomlin said that we're not going to see Kenny Pickett anytime soon. Do you guys believe that, or do you think that's just nonsense?
I think it's true. I think he's a man of his word.
I know he's a man of his word. I was hoping that you guys had something better to say other than what I already know.
No, I don't think they're going to stick with Trubisky past week 8.
George Pickens.
When is their bye? Sorry.
What?
When is the Steelers bye?
Oh,
week 9.
Week 9.
Week 10 is the earliest you see him.
That's what I said after week 8. So week 10. Yeah.
10.
That hurts. George Pickens dropped a touchdown because he tried to be fancy last week. After he made an insane catch, so he should have had a fantasy relevant day. Instead, he ended up with 6 points. But it was good to see him get targeted. Yeah, it was a real nice catch. But
maybe OBJ can show him how it's done.
I mean,
it
wasn't a catch.
I'm saying finishing.
Scoring a touchdown? I mean, consider he was horizontal to the ground. It's ridiculous catch.
I don't have much to say about this game. It's gonna be a shit show.
Yeah, I just have one quick thing about Najee I wanted to pull up real quick. A lot of people are talking shit about Najee, about how he's just been a bust this year, but he had this almost identical stats as last year. I just wanted to pull it up. Here it is. He had 45 yards, 38 yards, and 40 yards on no more than 15 carries last year to start the first 3 weeks. This year,
but
23, 49, 56.
But the difference is the game he had last year, he had 20 targets against the Bengals and caught 14 balls for 100 and whatever yards that was.
I'm not disputing that,
Yeah.
but he did start slow. And then he finished as running back 5 because when it gets cold out and it's in Pittsburgh and the wind is blowing, they run the ball. So
the only difference is last year I think he was healthy going into the season, and this year I think he's banged up and he's gonna get healthy.
We'll see.
I will say I don't think the foot this past week I didn't think it bothered him. Like that one play where he ran over the defender, he looked totally fine. But the prior 2 weeks I thought he looked a little slow.
Yeah. I got nothing else on this game though.
Yep. Next up we have the Bears vs Giants. Sterling Shepard torn his ACL. Rest in peace to his Giant career and an NFL career. Nice knowing you.
What do you think that means for any of the other Giants receivers? We're seeing Richie James, Kenny Galladay. I don't think that matters.
If there's any
Darius Tony active,
if there's a better time for Robinson and Tony to come out of injured on the sideline bullshitting with each other, it would be right now. Because they're desperate. Like they're so like it's just the only thing this offense does is either run with Barkley or run with Jones.
Yep. They need
honestly
something.
The best wide receiver right now on that team is Sills, and he's an undrafted for a 5th-year wide receiver. It's really awful.
Yeah, I mean they had no time last night to throw the ball.
No.
At all. So like whatever, I really don't take away much from that game. I don't hate Ricky what's his name? Ricky James. But I need to see Tony do something. We really need to see Tony do something at this point.
There's no better shot than right now.
Yeah.
He comes back this week. He has a hamstring injury, but listen, if Robinson can come back, I would more likely pick up Robinson. He's going to be featured.
Interesting. Bears defense, the stream of the week. I'm not asking you, Mike, because you're a Giants fan. I'm asking Joe Green.
It's sneaky. I mean,
they're not. You could get 5 sacks. Could get 5 sacks.
You could.
No.
They're not the greatest defense. They're not. They don't really have the greatest pass rush. They give up a lot of rushing yards.
I think it would be better to stream Giants. Better to stream Giants.
Yeah, you're probably honestly either way, you're fine.
Yeah,
I would honestly play the Giants. They got 2 of their pass rushers that were on snap counts. They got it back last week, and they played against the Cowboys. So this week going against the Bears have one of the, if not the worst offensive line in the league. Hopefully that leads to something.
Yeah.
They get torched on the ground. The Bears. They've given up like 200 yards a game rushing.
200 yards a game rushing. They gave up 80 on 20 attempts to Dameon Pierce last week. You guys just pulling stats out of your asses this week.
No, I'm
pulling stats out of your asses this week.
Look at against the Packers. They gave up 200 yards rushing, and then the 49ers gave up 175 or something like that. It was absurd.
49ers probably, that's what they do is run the football. And then the Packers
were up by 200.
The Packers were up by fucking 3 touchdowns, and Bears never had a chance.
Let's talk about my number 1 waiver wire pickup of the week, Khalil Herbert.
I mean, I told you to draft him.
Yeah, I'm talking to the people here. I'm not talking about me.
Yeah.
All right, less than 40% owned. You need to own this guy because guess what? Montgomery is going to be hurt for maybe not this week, Definitely heard again. Count on it.
Yep. Khalil Herbert did something David Montgomery has never done. Rushed for 150 yards.
That he
I
does
don't
have
know that
150
that's
yards.
true.
You're pulling that stat
No,
out.
go look it up. Go look it up. Never happened before. He had 2 touchdowns.
Maybe you're right.
I told you last year. I told you before the season started when we did the mock draft episode. Take him late in every draft because he's better than David Montgomery is. Nobody listened, and he's on almost all of my teams. And he'll be
Montgomery
starting.
ran for 146. I mean,
Oh, you hate to see it.
pretty.
You hate
pretty
to
close.
see it though. But that's not 150, is it?
I mean, yeah,
Wow,
picking, really hey out of.
Yeah, I mean, if he had 145 rushing yards, then I'd be like, well, David Montgomery's only done that once. But he hasn't done it. He hasn't done it.
Oh, that's really picking a needle out of the haystack, but all right.
How many times has he done it? He doesn't do it.
No,
That's the first game. Khalil
There's
Herbert
a lot of running backs that don't go for
gets all the work.
150.
Bangs out 150, no problem. In 3 quarters. Give him a full game against the Giants, who led up almost 200 rushing yards on Monday night. I love it.
I think we need to see what Dave Montgomery's availability is like all week.
Yeah, I agree, but Khalil Herbert must own. Dave Montgomery's made a glass.
Only person you own on the Bears.
Yeah.
And Montgomery.
Yeah, because we're probably dropping Mooney.
And all you Komet fucking lovers out there,
idiots.
Try again.
Idiots.
He caught his first pass Sunday.
Wow.
Cute. That's real cute.
I forgot to mention. I want to backtrack. Conklin's the top 5 tight end in the league right now on the Jets.
Wow, that's really backtracking.
Okay.
Oh no, it's one game. Yeah, Conklin's been good. Mike's right. He's been good.
Yeah.
10 points a week. Yeah.
Because Joe Flacco, former Ravens great, loves tight ends.
Yeah.
Former tight end passer great.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about another tight end on our Nets game. Browns vs Falcons. Kyle Pitts finally showed up. I felt like it was kind of obvious that he was going to have a big game. I felt like he was going to be featured. All that talk from their coach, I was like, I'm not trading Pitts, especially not this game. Let him at least play. And it showed off. He didn't have a amazing game, but definitely was something that we needed to see week in, week out, coming from him, being one of the top picks, the highest drafted tight end.
This feels like such bad deja vu. Like this same shit happened last year where he started off slow. They finally made an effort one game to feature him. He went off against the Jets and had the touchdown. And it's like the same shit this year. They don't feature him the first 2 weeks. And they're like, oh, let's get him the ball. I don't know. It's just the whole situation's sour to me.
I like his matchup this week though. Browns are historically terrible against tight ends. I want to see him score a touchdown. I need to see him start scoring touchdowns this year though.
Yeah. Just 2 of them. One more than last year.
Still hasn't caught one in America.
God damn it.
Insane.
He did it for the Queen. That's what it was. He did it for the Queen. Rest in peace, Queen.
Oh, no.
Too soon, guys? Come on.
Too soon?
It's not my Queen.
It's our Queen. It's not our Queen. Live in no damn England.
Drake London seems to be the guy I look to in the red zone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 50-50 ball guy. Guy catches.
Big Brian Edwards guy.
Yeah.
Shout out to our buddy Garrett who tried to convince me
knows nothing about any sport.
Yeah, he's a big hot take guy. He's a big hot take guy. He tried to convince me and Joe Green, and while we were on Discord during a draft, that Brian Edwards was better than Drake London was, and he's going to outproduce him. Brian Edwards, week 3, was a healthy scratch. You hate to see it.
Moss to lose the game against the Rams against Jalen Ramsey. Not even active anymore. That's how bad Brian Edwards has been.
Yeah. Nick Chubb is the running back 1 right now.
They run the ball.
Crazy.
Yeah. He's looked really good. He looks really good, though.
I tried trading for him. Couldn't get him. Very unfortunate.
But Myles Garrett, anybody knows what's going on with him? Any because he got in a bad car accident. I don't know what the severity of the injuries were. Do we have any update on that?
Everything was like nothing like life threatening, but he rolled the car like several times.
Oh, jeez.
I would expect him I expect him to be out for like at least one game. No one said that, but I mean, you're definitely bruised up rolling the car several times.
Mm-hmm.
The video released.
I haven't been really
after.
Really?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not of the crash of the car and him getting attended to. I mean, he suffered a shoulder sprain and a bicep sprain, but it was mostly just cuts. He was bleeding a lot. So I don't know. You got to watch for practice all week.
Yep. We're going to get another Amari game, or we only have one more left on the season, and he's just going to kind of spread it out.
Sprinkle it in every quarter a game.
Just hitting his quota for the year.
Yeah. He's just making sure he hits that quota for like not elite, but not garbage, like somewhere in the middle there. You know, that's where he likes to live. It's a sweet spot. He makes you love him just enough, and then he makes a big letdown, and then he makes you start loving him again. That's kind of his motto.
He should do pretty decent against the Falcons. I mean, they do have one top corner over there, but I see them like. Do you think they're going to continue to feature Njoku? That's my question. I had him in a waiver wire pickup. You saw what he could do when he had 10 plus targets. I'm not that I think that he's going to have 10 plus targets. Like, there's no better opportunity than to run the ball and pass to your tight end.
Yeah. I mean, he's still streamable every week if you're in a tight spot. Kind of matchup dependent. So I don't hate it this week. I really don't. They're going to have to keep, you can't run the ball 100% of the time like you think you can in Denver, but he's streamable, nothing more.
Are you shocked to see how much Cordell Patterson has been used on the year?
Yeah, I mean, 2 games already, 100 rushing yards. He's just an athlete, He's just a football player, I think, and it's just he's too good not to get attention, not to get volume. So, shout out to him. I'm wrong again.
Is he currently ranked second right now?
Probably.
No, he's sixth. Oh, he had one bad game.
Read out.
Yeah. What was that?
He only had 4. What?
I said Mariota does wonders for him because they have that read option ability.
Yeah.
He's not even catching the ball. That's the shocking part. I mean, besides week 1, which he had 5 targets for 3 catches, like he's only had 1 catch for other 2 games.
Yeah, that's a little shocking, but 17 attempts for 141 last week. Insane.
All right, that gets it off. We're going to go next game.
That kicks it off.
That kicked it off.
That's the end of that.
That's a butt punt right there.
Chargers versus Texans. Fumble. The injured Chargers. Basically, everyone's hurt. Keenan Allen returns to practice this week. Herbert with the bruised ribs, cracked ribs, cartilage. They lost Slater, their left tackle, which I think is going to be talking about 2 left tackles that got lost over the weekend. One being Slater and the other one being Williams on San Francisco. I think these are going to be critical to their team.
Yeah.
And,
did Keenan Allen come back today, or is he supposed to come back this week?
Supposed to come back. There's no practice to that.
I don't like that. Let me know when he does. Yeah. This offense looks absolutely lost without him. They don't know what they're going to do. I mean, given Justin Herbert's got no time to throw, he looks like he might die.
It's going to be worse now. It's going to be worse now. Imagine not having your left tackle.
Yeah, I mean, he might die of sacks. Doctor might kill him first, but
this might be a boost to ETN, not ETN, to Eckler because, I mean, there's got to be no time to pass downfield.
I mean, they didn't do it last week. They were down. That's usually when the Chargers used them the most, is when they were down, just needed to get quick yards, It's nothing. Just not using them.
This is hurts.
Not even getting
Dameon
rushing
Pierce.
attempts.
Dameon Pierce is not a top 15 running back. That hurts.
Yeah, period.
He
End of
had a
story.
pretty good game.
Yeah.
You said this right after a good game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, had 20 carries. It was great. 80 yards.
Touchdown.
Took zero snaps in the passing game. Don't love that.
Got the touchdown.
Well, he's a rookie. Yeah, he had a touchdown. He had 2 catches for 21 yards. He's a rookie. He's gonna have to earn those passing reps for, you have to be able to pick up a blitz.
Sure. Does that equal out to a top 15 running back?
Good.
No.
I'm just I can't throw shade on this show anymore.
No, you can.
Not to me.
Can.
What do you mean not to you? That's who I'm throwing shade to.
I don't need shade. I need sunlight.
Yeah. Fair.
See, I'm getting a little white over here.
That's because you stopped coming golfing with us, but that's besides the point.
I don't come to play golf, and they're all shooting below hundreds now. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Hey, 3 straight times. All right.
I'm gonna play golf next week, and they're shooting 150.
You're probably not
It's
wrong.
not true. Not true.
Not true, and probably not wrong. You see, Joe Green's an honest man over there.
Yeah, I mean, you know me. I'm in the lab. You know that.
Is that all we have to talk about the Chargers and Texans?
Yeah, I don't really love this game.
All right. Commanders versus Cowboys rivalry.
Take the under.
Dak Prescott not coming back for this week or week 5. Watch it. Whoever wrote that should be put down.
Oh wow, it's an eyeing week 5 return from thumb injury. Yeah, sorry, it doesn't exactly look right.
Eyeing a week 5 return from thumb injury. That doesn't. He's still hurt, but they're trying to rush him back. That's kind of what.
Yeah.
I want the public to know. You saw what happens when Wilson came back for his thumb injury, and he did nothing for the next 3 weeks. I want to let you know.
Who?
He's talking about Russell Wilson last year.
Russell Wilson last year came back.
No, Russell Wilson is bad at football now. I don't know if you caught that memo. I think you must have missed that.
This was last year's memo. This
was last year. I agree.
This is when he started getting worse because of his thumb injury.
Yeah, he came back against the Packers. It was brutal. Like 14 for 32. It was terrible.
Yeah. You worried about? I know, Joker, and you're high on John Dotson. You worried about his fantasy value? You think he can just be dropped?
I don't know that I was high on him. I liked what I saw the first 2 weeks. I actually hated him coming into the year because I didn't think Wentz would throw to a smaller receiver. But I mean, the problem with him is just volume, right? Like he's only kind of getting the touchdowns. That's what always made him relevant, or the first 2 weeks. And I mean, I hate him this week. Not against the Cowboys. I think pass rush is too much for them. But droppable, no, definitely not.
Interesting. Do you think we're going to get a quarterback controversy in Dallas, or what? Cooper LaRush looks better than Dak did.
I think that he's better for their team for sure. He knows how to run this offense.
Hi, Ghost.
He knows how to play this game. And I think he's probably one of the best backups, not going to lie, watching the last 2 games. He can rely on this defense and just continue to run the ball, pass it to their, CD. That's really all they have. Wait for Gallup to be there. Like, they don't really need Dak. And I definitely think the better he plays, the longer Dak is out.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be, because I wouldn't put Dak out there. And, like, we saw what happened last week to Commanders going against the Eagles. They got shit on. He got sacked a ton. What's his name? Wentz. Wentz got sacked a ton. Can you imagine going against the Cowboys D? How many times are you going to get sacked?
Yeah, Cowboys D looks fast.
Cowboys front 4. And there's another guy there. I don't even know his name. There's Parsons. There's Lawrence. There's another guy now. And he looked dangerous. He looked like a mean guy. I gotta look it up.
He looked like a mean guy.
No, like every time I looked up, he was always
mean guy.
He was always looking mean. He's looking like he wasn't happy.
He looked like a unit. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, we knew what you meant, just the way you said it was
I
really lame. Really lame.
I want to say this about Dak and Cooper Rush. I think it's important to remember with Dak. Listen, he's a nice game managing quarterback. I don't think he's ever been much above that. Remember, he was a 4th round draft pick, so not the greatest arm talent, right? Like the guys who go high typically have awesome arms. Dak doesn't have an awesome arm. He's probably like bottom 10 in the league. And also remember, they didn't even want to draft him. They wanted to draft Connor Cook, and the Raiders traded up and drafted Connor Cook ahead of Dak Prescott.
Yeah. Where's Cook now?
No, he's not in the league.
Oh,
obviously,
course,
it worked out.
The Raiders never have any idea what they're doing.
But I'm just saying, obviously, it worked out for Dallas. And, I think Dak was nice until you had to pay him, what 150 million, 250 million, whatever it was. And now it's like, even heard Jerry Jones, like, I hope we have a quarterback controversy. And I think that's like, it's just interesting to hear him say that. But I mean, I won't believe it till we see it. Like, I don't know if this is Tony Romo 2.0. I won't believe it till Cooper Rush is balling out every week and Dak looks horrible.
I think that was kind of just like to try to get Dak to be like, hey, you got to play better, man. Because Dak's a competitive guy at the end of the day.
It's
4th round pick.
I would bet, there's at least 10 teams that would trade for him.
Easily.
Yeah.
Dak?
His
for sure.
contract is very favorable right now compared to what all the other QB contracts are right now. So I hope come to the Giants.
Yeah. One last thing, Tony Pollard is better than Zeke.
100%.
Yeah, it just is.
At this point, I don't agree. I don't disagree.
Yeah, I mean they both looked good last night, but I mean the Giants' run D is terrible. It was weird to see Tony Pollard not getting any checkdowns, but besides that, Cooper Rush doesn't really check down.
He doesn't need to.
Slings it.
Yeah. Next stop, we have the Seahawks vs Lions. Swift is going to be out for a couple of games. He has a shoulder injury as well as an ankle injury. The ankle injury was the one that has been bothering him. He made it worse, and the shoulder injury is the new injury.
Yeah. They said that he could probably play not this week, but next week. They're just going to hold him out until after the bye week. So
that's really 3 games, basically.
In fantasy terms, but for them it's 2.
What does this mean for Jamal Williams?
He's a must start.
Must start.
Yeah, I'm especially against the Seahawks, who just get torched on the ground. He's a touchdown machine. We know that already. For every time DeAndre Swift has gotten them into the red zone, he just steals it away. Has the nose for the end zone. He was in Green Bay for a long time. Stole a lot of touchdowns from a lot of people. So
he was a top 10 running back this past week. He was very good.
Yeah.
I expect the same production going into this week. The Lions are a good team. Like, not good team, but they're like upcoming team that you can't sleep on them no more. They're going to put up points on, like, Golf and the whole crew is going to put up points on you.
Yeah.
And their defense, they're not great, but they have moments.
They have pieces. They just got to put the defense together and just consistently make stops.
You have anything to say about this, Joe Green?
About the Lions? They're fun. They're fun to watch. Wait till Jameson Williams comes back. Jamal Williams? Yeah, I mean, must start. In fantasy, you say it right there. It's a touchdown value. You saw last week. He got the goal line carries anyway. Now he's going to see 15 plus carries a game. Craig Reynolds, cuts in a little, not much. But next month or so, however long Swift's out, got yourself a solid RB2 or a flex play.
What about these wide receivers for the Seahawks? They're pretty much 50-50. They're spreading the ball over there.
That's because they're letting Geno cook, baby. They're doing what they didn't let Russ do.
They also don't have a run game.
Geno Smith's the quarterback the Broncos wish they had right now.
I mean, they almost had him in Teddy Bridgewater last year, so I mean, just let him walk.
Were you guys shocked that Eli? Sorry.
No. I was just gonna say I do want to say Geno Smith is seriously playing the best football of his career and like legitimately looks like a starting quarterback. No, I know I was cracking jokes, but like seriously, he looks awesome.
Yeah, he
We'll
does
see.
look
We'll
good.
see if it holds.
We never really got to see if he could be a QB. Let's be frank. Like we saw a couple games that like the Jets as a franchise are garbage.
Yeah, that was some of the worst football we've ever seen when he was on the Jets. So,
like he was about to be this. Was he not going to be the starter for the Bills? And his jaw got punched in.
No, that was he on the Giants. He got punched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on the Bills. Was he
Gino?
not?
Gino?
No.
Well, who did he get
Gino was
punched with?
never on the Bills.
No, man.
The Jets. No, he got punched on the Jets by a teammate when Ryan Fitzpatrick was there. I'm almost positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's just a Fitz magic, baby. Fitz always on the field.
Yeah.
Fitz always on the field.
It was the Jets, 100%.
Yeah.
You know what? It was probably it was a Bills player, maybe.
I don't know. I just know he got punched in the face, and I remember the quarterback. I'm almost positive ended up being Ryan Fitzpatrick. Started over him that year.
Yeah,
that was in 2015, I believe.
I don't know about
That's
you guys.
How long ago it was?
Just kind of pivot a little bit. I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of starting to buy some stock into Kenneth Walker if I can.
Absolutely.
He had three receptions last week. He looked explosive. He was only out there for a limited amount of time, but when he was on the field, he produced well. So I'm trying to get him in a couple leagues, see where it takes me, especially in leagues that I just kind of punted running back to. Could be a pickup of the year.
Yeah, and you got to consider Rashad Penny obviously doesn't have a great history of staying healthy, so he goes down. If he starts seeing 80% of the workload, I know they have DJ Dallas and Travis Homer there as well, but if he starts seeing 80% of the workload and really gets a lot of receiving work, yeah, you got yourself a flex play, a running back too.
Yep, I'm really buying stock. And shout out to people who said he didn't know how to catch a football, because he can.
Yeah, he can. Yeah.
It was too easy. That's what they said about Lev Bell. Just the type of offense that college runs. Anything else, guys?
None.
Okay. Kick it off, Mike.
Next up, Titans versus Colts. We have kick it off.
Kick it off. Next up. I'm going to make a shirt for Mike. It just says next up. Kick it off. Next up.
Never get old, man.
Kick it off.
That's our show.
That's our show.
It's a wrap. We're not talking about anything else. Titans versus Colts. Talk about Treylon Burks not doing anything when Henry goes off. We already mentioned all this.
Raiders. Even against the Raiders, does nothing.
Does nothing against the Raiders. The Raiders don't have a corner better than me out there.
That's not true.
You didn't say that with much respect or much anything out there.
I think Nate Hobbs is going to be a really good corner in the league. The other guys, I agree. Rocky Sin and I don't even know who plays slot anymore. We've had so many injuries, but
Derrick Henry, you think he continues to eat? Colts have been giving up a decent amount of rushing yards now that Leonard is still not back. At linebacker, Colts don't look good at all. I mean, they came out with a win last week, shockingly. They needed that.
Yeah, that was like one of those NFL games that, like, for some reason you just had the feeling the Colts were going to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
At least I did. It was just like one of those letdown spots. I think the Titans beat the Colts pretty easily. I think they just run the ball down their throats, and Treylon Burks sees two targets again. It's just Derrick Henry leading the team in receptions is something we never thought we'd see coming, and it's just happening. Derrick Henry's being involved in the passing game. I don't think it continues because Hilliard's going to be back this week, so he'll be used in the passing game.
Alec and Pittman both had decent numbers. Alec had 61 yards. Pittman, and he had 80.
That's your rookie of the year.
Yeah, Alec Burke. I mean, he had 4 catches for 61 yards.
Alec
Pierce.
Alec Pierce.
He said fucking Burke. That's my guy. That's my guy.
I like Alec Pierce. I'm holding him in most leagues still. Like I think
I would hold on. I mean, it
touchdowns
wasn't
there.
fair. It wasn't a fair week 1, and then week 2 he had concussion.
Yeah, I mean, week 1 he had 3 targets in the red zone.
Yeah,
you love that.
Another game where he doesn't get 100 yards, Pittman, though. Don't point that out.
I mean, just pointing it out.
Oh, good.
The team does look better when Pittman's on the field, though. So the
the
whole offense runs better.
Doubt. Yeah, without a doubt.
They just have 9 people in the bots if he's not there.
No, they just don't even run the ball then, because they know that the box
get stopped.
Yeah.
That's
Real
why I'm
quick.
shocked.
No, go ahead.
That's why I'm shocked that Hines is not like really featured when they're not there.
They said all offseason that they're going to feature him a lot. I mean, he did see 6 targets, but didn't do much with them. So I did want to say real quick: are you selling Derrick Henry high, or are you just hoping it gets better as the season goes on?
I think he's going to start getting a little bit better. As the season goes on, teams get worn out on defense, and that's when he kind of kicks into high gear. I was worried. He looked good. He looked good last week.
Look at the running back market. He's right there still. There's not much difference between him and other hovering around top 15. There really isn't that much of a difference between 15 and 20 right now, and he's still not high enough to trade for. What you're not going to get another a 2-stack a mediocre running back and another wide receiver. There's not trade value for him right now.
Yeah. I mean, I think you just hold on to him. I don't think we can really do much.
Just presenting the question.
Yeah, no. It's a valid question, Joe Green, but I think there's just not much you can really do with him. He doesn't have that. Truly doesn't have the passing upside that we saw this week. So,
no.
You think Woods continues to be featured for the Titans?
Yeah, because Treylon Burks stinks.
I can't get a read on it. I don't know. I don't think so though.
All right, well, we're gonna go with the next thing because Burks is the only conversation we have on that team.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only kind of that's what it is. Just there's not much in that game besides is Burks going to produce? So
next up, we have the Cardinals and the Panthers. AJ Green has a bone bruise. Most likely will miss at least a week. Now Moore's out. Moore's been out at least. AJ Green is now out. Now it's time for my boy. Can you say the name? Because I'm going to pronounce it wrong.
No,
Dortch.
Dortch.
Dolch.
Time for him to
Craig
eat.
Dolch.
It's time for him to eat. Time for him to eat. Not that AJ Green was doing much, but
Brandon Moore should be close to coming back. You can probably just go scoop him up on
waiver.
Just not even a waiver wire. Free agency. A lot of people are forgetting that he's down there because that's not what they're looking for. But if he's out there, pick him up, throw him on your bench, throw him in the IR spot for now because he's coming back, and they need somebody to catch the ball out there. Because Marquise Brown's been okay, but he's not a wide receiver 1, man. He's really not. We saw that in Baltimore, and we're seeing it now. He's dropping a lot of balls. He made a great catch for a touchdown, but he's not a true wide receiver 1. We know that.
The offense would just be a lot better when they have more weapons on the outside and they're able to actually trick plays, crossing routes and all that stuff. The offense will be a lot better. Not that I'm high on Murray right now, or even if they do come back, I wouldn't be surprised until they're really good until Hopkins comes back.
Yeah,
where they have a true number 1.
3 more weeks till Hopkins is back.
Yeah, can't come soon enough for Kyle Murray owners, man.
That's why I traded for him.
I mean, yeah. DeAndre Hopkins is a stud. That's why I traded for him. You could have traded for him 5 weeks ago. It would have made a difference. He's still a stud. Should have drafted him. It would have made a difference.
I drafted Michael Thomas. It was between the two. Couldn't have both of those guys on the team.
Yeah. One guy who we should have probably added to the cut or keep thing is DJ Moore. What do we do with him?
We just dropped him.
Brutal.
It's so bad.
He's a cut.
Their whole
if he didn't have that
offense is
touchdown,
garbage.
if he didn't have that touchdown 2 weeks ago, like he would be nothing.
The problem is, like, he's had 6 targets in every game. He's just not catching any of them.
It used to be
he has the lowest,
he never got the touchdowns.
Lowest catch rate in the league, I believe, right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's not good. You what do you do with them? Can you trade them?
Well, I'll say this:
Package him?
6 targets isn't even a lot. Like, you're talking about a guy last year who was getting 10 a game.
Yeah.
And now he technically upgraded that quarterback in a way. Like, he had
Did he,
PJ
though?
Walker. Yeah, well, PJ Walker, Cam Newton. Like, they had a bunch of scrubs last year. Sam Darnold.
And they moved to another scrub and Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, the volume's so concerning. I mean, you're screwed. It's like Cam Akers. You're just sitting there hoping a miracle happens.
Yeah.
Hoping the Red Sea parts for this guy. I mean, really.
Yeah. I need help. Somebody tell me what to do with DJ Moore. Because I don't know. I can't afford to. You got the
He's
package
so
him.
low, you can't even sell him. There's nothing to sell him for.
Yeah.
You could sell him for Treylon Burks. I promise you.
No, I'd rather have DJ Moore. I'd rather have DJ Moore. I'd rather have somebody who knows how to catch a football. Not he would have caught that football if I don't want that in my team.
If didn't have asthma, ran the right route, didn't get tackled by the defensive safety.
This just turned into a Treylon Burks slam episode. I really don't have much else for this game besides, that really. I really don't have much to say. DJ Moore stinks. The Cardinals, I think, are going to win this game and going to bounce back a little bit. Is there any update on James Conner? Didn't he leave the game last week?
That was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, 2 weeks ago. Sorry.
He should be fine. He's fine.
Okay.
Played last week. He didn't do much, but I think they pretty much used all 3 running backs.
Yep.
This week should be more back to normal. All right, let's kick up the worst of the worst.
Yeah, this game is bad.
Broncos versus Raiders. The shit of the shit. This division game is just going to be god-awful.
Somebody explain to me how the Broncos are in first place.
No, is it technically first? No, it's Chiefs. Chiefs are in first.
They're tied.
They're tied in first place.
Yeah, but Chiefs have a divisional win.
We're not getting technical here. They're fucking 2-1 and
they're tied. 2-1, 2-1. How are the Broncos 2-1?
The Raiders are shitting the bed.
Tank for Bryce Young, baby.
That's just brutal, man. Courtland Sutton is a stud. Joe Green, I'm getting a little worried about our future.
I mean, I was worried watching Russell throw the ball week 1, where he can't reach, the distance he needs to get them the ball. But hang in there. It's only 5 touchdowns, so hopefully we can get that.
It's 6.
Oh, 6. Sorry, 6. 5.5.
It's 5.5. Learn how to count. It's definitely 6.
Yeah, not great though. I mean, not a good start. I'm not loving that.
You should get 6 in one game. You can probably get 2 in this game, at least.
I will say there was times during that Broncos game where the offense did look decent, and then they would just go back to being shit again. So there were a few bright spots, and I do think that the Broncos can put it together. That's kind of my take on the Broncos offense.
Well, I don't think it can get any worse. I mean, how could you get worse? Like, unless they have injuries, it's not going to get worse. The last drive of the game, or the last real drive where they scored the touchdown, they looked good. Russ was moving, and they were he actually used his feet, and they looked good. And you just gotta hope it gets better.
Yeah, there was like two or three drives like that the whole game from both teams. That was one of the worst games I've ever watched. But there was one, it was probably two. I think one in the first half and one in the second half where he did similar stuff. And, they could actually move the ball. But
Right.
it's got to be consistent.
The team is never going to be good because of their coach.
They're 2-1.
The Giants are 2-1.
Giants have a good coach.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
They have a bad team, but a good coach.
Exactly.
Broncos have a good team, but a bad coach.
Yeah.
And they played an easy schedule too. So that
I don't understand what the Raiders are doing. They're 0-3. They don't have any of it.
They
Bad
definitely
everything.
don't have a coach.
Bad.
They definitely don't have a coach. You don't have a one-hit wonder on your team.
That's not even a one-hit wonder. That's a no-hit wonder. That's a Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
Matt Nagy had a one-hit wonder.
Are we buying in on this guy? What's his name? Matt Collins?
Matt Collins, no.
Yeah. He says no, I'm saying yes.
First of all, he
Let's
caught
go
2
over
Hail
why.
Marys.
Yeah,
He caught 2 Hail
agree
Marys.
with that. Yeah, it's fine.
I mean,
okay, 2.
That's what he did. He caught 2 Hail Marys.
You still had 10 targets in 2 games this year.
Yep.
Renfro didn't play this game, and he
What about
saw
the first game.
Yeah, it's a weird coincidence. I don't think you're going to see that often. But Carr has a history of this. Like, he's done this in the past where some Bob wide receiver goes off one game for him.
Yeah.
So it's not unusual for him to target one guy for a game or 2.
Yeah. What's the deal with Devontae? Just not getting the catches we need.
Yeah, not good. They're a mess. I have no defense. I'm not going to sit here.
No, we're not even bad. We're trying to figure it out because you watch the Raiders game like where we would watch good football. You're watching the Raiders game, so like, we're asking because it doesn't make it to our TV.
Yeah,
No, when it is on our TV and it's this bad, they switch to the other game.
Listen, me and Joe Green were sitting at a bar during the first half. He was watching the Raiders game. I was watching the Jets game. It was more exciting than the Raiders game.
Well, we had no choice. Let's be honest. We have no choice to watch the Jets in New York.
Well, like, would I rather watch the Jets and the Bengals or watch the Raiders? I'm taking the Jets and the Bengals.
Hey, at least I'll say this: the Raiders games all came down to the wire. It might have been shit, but at least it came down to the end.
They love some drama down there in Vegas,
Yeah, I will say Devontae Adams. I'm not worried. He's still getting 10 targets a game. It's just a matter of them putting the pieces together.
Yeah, hopefully it's not too late.
And if Waller catches the football, that'd be great. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. That'd be wonderful for my fantasy team. It'd be phenomenal.
Two brutal drops in that game. He dropped a touchdown. No, 3. He dropped two touchdowns.
Two touchdowns.
He dropped that long pass. Yeah. Brutal.
One of them was tipped. The second one I think was tipped, but like it still hit his hands. He still should have caught it.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a Waller owner, I hate to see things like that.
When you get paid, you don't have to play no more.
That's fair.
That's not what he's.
That's fair.
It's true. All right, that's enough of that. We have Patriots vs Packers. Matt Jones. I would say he's going to be out for the year.
That's
personally,
craziness.
They say his injury is so bad that he should have surgery. If he has surgery on his ankle, he's going to be out.
Yes, I don't know if he's going to have surgery. But
wait,
it's the pay.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this similar to when Daniel Jones? Didn't he have a crazy injury last year or 2 years ago with Judge?
Yes,
he had. Was it?
Yeah. He hurt his ankle. I don't know if it's as bad as Jones. I don't think it was. Jones is worse, but he came back after 3 or 4 games, and he still could not run. He could not walk. He looked horrible, and then eventually he had a neck injury and was out for the rest of the year.
Yeah. I will say Mac Jones looked really good too. That's a shame. He was running. He's looking like he actually played at Alabama.
He looked like he played with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, he looked like he knew how to play football. Like he was just balling out, not afraid to run. He was just letting it fly. That's probably his best true football game, where he looked like an NFL quarterback and not just like a game manager. And it's a shame. Shame to see him go.
I will say I love this for my Patriots lowest scoring offense in the NFL bet, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't love that they put up 20+ points. No.
No, I hated that. But the rest of the season, I'm liking my prospects.
I did tell you Ramondre Stevenson would ball out last week. He didn't ball out the way I thought he would, but he had a
The
touchdown.
balled out.
What?
The balled out.
No, he did, but I thought that he was going to have a lot of work in the passing game, and he didn't. But he had 73 yards and a touchdown. So he had four receptions. He had 2 from 95% of the game. But outside of that, Romeo Doubs is a stud for the Packers. It's official.
He's the one that's trusted. Yeah.
Yeah, it's official. Lock him in.
All those lunch breaks with Rodgers are paying off now, right?
Yeah.
There's no other wide receiver. Watkins is on IR. Winston is hurt with a hamstring injury.
Watson.
Yeah,
Yep.
Watson. He has a hamstring injury. He was out last week. Who knows if it goes into this week? And there's nobody else. There's really nobody else. So, I mean,
you feel confident starting Romeo Doubs and Dubes in your lineups.
yes.
Not crazy confident. This matchup's a little bit tough. Patriots, pretty good defense, like a sneaky good secondary. But like if you're looking at a team like me in our home league, like I'd start him. But like on a regular redraft, probably not unless you're having an injury or something. Then I need something to match it up with. I need something to compare it to. But if it's a fringe thing and it's I need to see it more than once, really. Does it again this week, I'm all in. My weekly starting lineup.
Myers was a surprise out last week, but don't be shocked. He's going to continue to get his 10 points every game.
Yeah, I think he got the 10 points even when he was out.
Yep. Devontae Parker balled out when he was gone.
Yeah. One-hit wonder.
Yeah, I mean, that's the Ravens secondary. Absolute dog shit. So.
Now for our 8 o'clock game, we have the Chiefs versus Bucs. We finally get to talk about real teams going against each other. Mike Evans coming back. Russell Gage finally showed that he got what he's getting paid for. 12 catches, 87 yards, and a touchdown last week. And Julio Jones is expected to be back, according to their head coach.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Is he? Because like
I'm just saying I'm just reading the comments.
No, it was just like it was strange because me and Joe Green had this conversation. I was trying to put in my anytime touchdown parlay on Sunday, and I had Julio in. And he's like, "Isn't he supposed to miss?" Like it wasn't confirmed.
Yeah,
and then like right before the game, they said he can miss like up to 3 to 4 weeks. And I was like,
partially torn PCL.
Yeah, like what's happening? Make it make sense. It's kind of what I'm saying.
Where's your PCL?
Yeah, it's in your knee.
It's in your knee, yeah.
ACL,
yeah,
MCL, PCL. Come on, man.
You don't need that. Don't come on me, man. I don't even have knees. I don't even have legs. I'm 4 foot tall.
Field. I'll believe it. He's on the field when I see it. That's how I put it.
Yep. Anybody picking up what's his name? The running back for the Chiefs. Not Pacheco, not Allaire. What's his name? McKinnon? Yeah.
No, he's still not getting that snapped by Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
It was 50-50 last week.
Oh, I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire was still out there more.
Okay.
I just don't think they have much.
They're just not even running the ball.
Yeah, I just don't feel comfortable starting any of those backs. Yeah, like Clyde had 7 rushes for 0 yards. McKinnon had 7 for 20. Like they just stink at running the football. That's really what it comes down to. I mean, Clyde's only good because of the receptions. If it wasn't for that, I mean, yeah,
he would be on our cut or keep list.
And he's got a touchdown every week, if I'm right. I know week 2 he doesn't have a touchdown, but that was the only thing keeping him relevant. The volume is brutal.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I'm just throwing it out there. Yeah, basically,
I got Juju made an appearance.
Yeah, that hurdle was insane. I don't know if you watched the game.
Did he fumble?
Yeah.
No, he didn't fumble.
No,
He just
no.
hurdled, just completely cleared the defender, standing straight up.
Not much to say about this game.
Yeah, I'm kind of done with this game. Got really not much besides because we talked about Tom Brady before.
Yeah,
kind of droppable. Godwin's still not back. There's not really much on this game because we know we're playing Kelsey, we know we're playing Mahomes, and outside of that, not much left in this game.
no, not at all.
This is Monday Night Football. We have Rams with 49ers. Billy is heavily on the 49ers. I'm on the Rams.
That's because you're an idiot.
We're going to put a bet on it.
So I'm going to bet on the 49ers, and you can bet
That's
on the
right.
Rams.
Golf is on Billy. Left tackle for 49ers is out for the rest of the remainder of the year. It's not good.
Wait. Trent Williams is out for the year?
Yeah.
That's not confirmed. No way that's confirmed.
Yes,
I don't think I saw he was
It's
out
it's
for
a
the
high
year.
ankle sprain, isn't it?
Is he? I thought he was out for a year.
I think you're an idiot. That is what I think.
No, I don't think
I
he's out
swear to
for
God,
the
I read
year.
that.
I swear to God, you don't know how to read.
No, he's out 4 to 6 weeks.
That's out for the year. He's done.
I think I was like, wait a second. I did not read he was out for the year.
Where did I read
He'll
that?
miss some
How did
time.
I do that?
But,
That's the whole year. I wrote that too. That's sad.
we know you wrote that because I wouldn't write
Yeah,
that.
it's in the notes. What the
4 to
hell?
6 week. There had to be another Williams out there. He's hurt.
Yeah, another left tackle.
No
left tackle.
Maybe
that's on the
you know what? It was Slater and I switched the Slater and Williams.
Did something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not a great look.
It's never a good look when I'm talking. Akers is finally the featured back that we all expected him to be.
Not anymore. He's not.
Because he fumbled.
Because he fumbled
on the 1 yard line.
On the 1 yard line.
I'm not jumping back on the Henderson. He's not on my. He's on my cut. He's a cut list.
Yeah, I was gonna put him in, but I'm holding on to him
because of the fumble.
Because of the fumble, and I just know that he's gonna get looks next week.
I just don't think either one is very talented, and there's gonna constantly be a struggle between Akers and Henderson, and who has the hot hand and who's running well, and that's what you're gonna deal with for the entire season. I don't think either one's gonna break away.
Yeah, I mean that's for most teams now.
You think Robinson's gonna break away?
Oh,
a wide receiver.
Allen Robinson looks rough.
Yeah,
I'm not liking the prospects of Allen Robinson anymore. The Rams desperately need Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, they have nothing outside of Cooper Kupp. Ben Skoranek is trying to make a name for himself, but I don't know. Allen Robinson does not look good at all.
No, he doesn't. Something shocking happened in the Rams game is that Cooper Kupp dropped a touchdown wide open. He wasn't wide open, but him right in the breadbasket, and he just didn't catch it. You don't ever see that. Could have been a big week for Cooper Kupp owners. It's like a 50-yard pass too. Not great.
I mean,
not great.
He produces every week.
I know, but that could have been a difference. Could have been a difference.
True. At least he got the rushing touchdown.
Wasn't that his first rushing touchdown?
No.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, he's not a running back, so that wouldn't really shock me.
Higbee is one of my favorite tight ends of the year for me. Going forward, like if you go trade for him, he's my high trade. Go trade for him right now. I've been telling everybody in our answers, questions, who should I get for tight end? Be one of those people that have like Knots and all those other second end tight ends. Go trade for Higbee.
Yeah, I started like right before week 1. I think I brought it up. I was like, why is nobody talking about Higbee? This in case Allen Robinson isn't any good, the ball's gonna go somewhere. We're big fans of Higbee, both of us. I'm trying to find that Cooper Kupp stat now because now it's gonna bother me.
I think on the 49ers side, real quick, I think Jimmy G clearly missed a lot of time this offseason, hasn't played in a game in 9 months, and we saw the rust pretty bad. I mean, I know he played last week, but, like really practiced with the team, played. So I think the offense will be better because I know this past week, if you own Kittle, disaster, Debo, disaster, Brandon Ayuk at least had a touchdown, but ugly first week for them.
I will say it reminded me of why everybody thinks Jimmy G's a bitch. It's because he really doesn't have a great arm. No, he doesn't do anything particularly well except for manage the game, and kind of like there was a couple throws that should have been pick sixes in that game, and they just weren't. He just left it in the.
He's the first player ever to have a safety and a pick six on the same play. Like, I don't think I've ever seen that before in my life. Like, Dan Orlowski's off the hook for life. This guy got a safety by himself and threw pick six. Incredible.
Yeah, I was on the 49ers just because I thought that the Broncos stink. I stand by that was the right side of like the betting side, and it's just I hate Jimmy G.
I lost the remainder of my money on that.
Yeah. That's crazy that you were on them because I didn't even say anything. I just took that by myself and shut my mouth.
Pick. Yeah, it was a silent pick. I picked it and I was watching like, I'm gonna go to sleep and wake up a winner.
Yeah, nope. Yeah. That in the end, it was the safety that fucked us. It was better than having to pick six.
Yeah, I was gonna say it would have been pick six if it went the other way.
And just real quick to Dan Orlovsky, you're not off the hook. You're just one of two players that have ever done that. So get shit on. That's all I gotta say to that.
Anything else?
No, I'm pretty good on this game.
Joe Green?
No, I think we're good on that game.
That's a wrap.
All right. Like, follow, subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. All platforms, everywhere. Content coming in hot. We're getting to the thick of it. If you have questions, hit us up in the DMs.
Smooches.